Every day about 200,000 kilos of tomato sauce are produced in this factory. To produce such an amount, enormous harvesters collect millions of fresh tomatoes. But how is tomato sauce made in the factories? Remind we have a giveaway of a $100 value item of your choice for the first 1,000 subscribers. Hurry up and don't miss it. In this video, we will discover how one of the most popular sauces is mass-produced. During the tomato harvesting season, 50 million kilos are processed every year. 95% of the tomatoes harvested in the United States come from California. The warm days make for very tasty tomatoes. They grow a tomato with thick skin and firm consistency so that the machinery can pick and sort them without damaging the pulp. 2 or 3 weeks before the harvest, the water is cut off. This dry period concentrates the pulp, making it denser and more fleshy. After 90 days on the plant, these tomatoes can be harvested. Technology has revolutionized the tomato business. This harvester is a factory on wheels operated by 4 operators. Sharp teeth cut the roots and send the tomato plants to a conveyor belt. The plants climb up a conveyor to the harvester. Inside the harvester, metal spikes shake the tomatoes to free them from the stems. The shaker separates the heavier fruits from the plant and spits out the waste at the back, which is recycled as fertilizer for next year's harvest. But the monstrous machine also picks up unwanted things like dirt, stones, and green tomatoes. A laser scanner separates the red tomatoes from the green ones. It scans anything that is not intense red and prevents it from entering the machine. A conveyor carries the ripe red tomatoes to a trailer that runs alongside the harvester. The best tomatoes go to trailers capable of holding 300,000 tomatoes each. They fill about 24 tomato trucks per day. Each truck carries exactly 22 tons of tomatoes, which guarantees minimal damage to the fruit during transportation. Once they have a load of 22 tons, they deliver the tomatoes to the canning factory. There, they fill the trailer with water so that the tomatoes float out through a side door. 2.5 million tomatoes enter the factory every day from July to October. First, a stream of water propels them out of a steel channel. The dirty water with remnants of soil drains through the slots in the conveyor. The tomatoes land in a clean water channel where stones sink to the bottom and are removed. The passage of tomatoes through water channels protects them from bruising and begins the delicate cleaning process before processing. The tomatoes float in a large tank where sprayers agitate the water for a gentler cleaning. In the first bubble tank, the bubbles keep the tomatoes in suspension, moving and cleaning them at the same time. Then the tomatoes go to a sorting line. As they move up the conveyor, they are cleaned with a sprayer. Then an electronic classifier gets rid of any damaged, discolored, or unripe fruit. Pneumatic fingers eliminate those batches of tomatoes, all in less than a second. Those that pass the test go to the next phase, where they are submerged in a very hot bath. This softens the tomatoes and loosens the skins. Next, the tomatoes move through a peeler that gently separates them from the skin. The goal is to remove only the outer layer of skin, leaving the rest of the tomato intact. A stream of water washes the skins, which fall through the rubber discs, leaving no dirt behind. After peeling, the tomatoes go to another conveyor belt where sprayers give them another rinse. This conveyor controls the flow of peeled tomatoes to the processing room, metering the product as it moves along. The tomatoes fall down a ramp to the cutting machine. The cutter has 2 giant stainless steel blades, and the tomatoes pass through them at full speed. It is almost imperceptible to the human eye. A conveyor belt carries them to the rotating blades. Every second, they can cut 4 kilos in half. The chopped tomatoes pass in front of the workers, who remove any pieces that are not perfectly red, while the tomatoes continue their journey. Another process begins in the plant. The unstackers unload pallets of empty aluminum cans to maintain a constant supply to the fillers. Meeting the demand for filling that occurs on the lines is a critical process. When the cans finally arrive at the fillers, they are turned over and a burst of ionized air is applied to ensure that they are clean and empty. The tomatoes are transferred to a crusher that turns them into a puree. This machine uses special blades to cut and crush the tomatoes into small pieces, allowing them to mix with the other ingredients more easily. When the tomatoes have been crushed, the resulting puree is filtered to remove any remaining seeds or skin. The filtering is done using a machine that passes the tomato puree through a series of sieves and filters to remove impurities and obtain a smooth and homogeneous tomato sauce. It is important to remove the seeds and skin from the tomatoes because they could alter the texture and flavor of the sauce. A final step, the removal of impurities, also helps to prolong the shelf life of the sauce. Once the crushing process is completed, the tomato puree is transferred to the next phase of the production process, which is the cooking of the tomato. The tomato puree is placed in large stainless steel pots. These pots are heated using steam and are continuously stirred to prevent the tomato from burning or sticking to the bottom of the pot. The cooking of the tomato can last several hours. In another pot, a careful fry is prepared with onion and garlic, which will produce a tasty oil that will be mixed with the sauce. About 9 kilos of fresh garlic and onion are added to the pot filled with sunflower oil. The tomato puree is transferred to large mixing tanks where the fried oil and other ingredients such as salt, sugar, spices, and vinegar are added. The mixing process is crucial to ensure that all the ingredients are evenly mixed and the tomato sauce has a consistent taste. The ingredients must be mixed for 20 minutes to ensure good homogenization. About 200,000 kilos of tomato sauce are produced in this factory every day. Once the tomato sauce is mixed, it is pumped through pipes to the pasteurization room. The mixture is heated to high temperatures to kill any bacteria or microorganisms present and ensure a longer shelf life. Then it is cooled for packaging. Once the tomato sauce is pasteurized, it is sent to the filling room. The cans are lined up ready to be filled. The filling machine pours the tomato sauce into the aluminum cans. The packaging process is completely automated. The cans move onto the sealer, where the steam displaces all the air in the can. The sealer places a lid and folds and rolls the edges, forming a hermetic seal. These layers of aluminum form a barrier that prevents the product from coming into contact with oxygen, so the sauce has a shelf life of 9 months. The cans are in the labeling machine and are placed sideways. Glue and a label are applied to the can. Hundreds of cans pass through the labeling machine every minute. Once the cans are labeled, they are packaged and prepared for shipping. One curiosity about tomato sauce is that it was not originally used in Italian cuisine. Tomatoes, which are the main ingredient in tomato sauce, were only introduced to Europe in the 16th century, and it took some time for them to become a popular food in Italy. In fact, the first known tomato sauce recipe was published in 1790 by an Italian chef named Francesco Leonardi, who was the head chef at a famous restaurant in Naples. The recipe was actually for a tomato-based ragu, which is similar to a meat sauce, and it was intended to be served with pasta. Today, tomato sauce is a staple in Italian cuisine and is enjoyed all over the world in a variety of dishes. Give a like to the video if you liked it and share it with someone who might be interested. Also, subscribe to this channel by enabling notifications to keep learning.